I am Ana Muñoz Urribarri, pediatric gastroenterologist. I want to share some information with parents about CMPA, which is my area of expertise. First, I will explain some well-known facts about the disease and its risk factors. Second, I will show the symptomatology and signs, which can suggest CMPA. First, I will explain the current diagnosis of CMPA and questionings around it. And finally, I will summarize my advice to parents based on our team's research and findings. Each mammal species produces one specific milk blend for its babies. We humans are the same. Breast milk is a rich living tissue, plenty of energy and protein, but also has immune cells and other factors which compensate for the weakness in newborns. Cow milk-based formulas are adapted to provide energy and protein, but remain different from human breast milk. That is the main reason behind the cow milk protein allergy or CMPA. You can see the table about different types of proteins included in breast milk from different mammal species. Human milk doesn't have beta-lactoglobulin, for example. We don't have this type of protein because our newborns don't need it, but it's an essential component of cow milk. Also, cow milk formulas don't have cells or bacteria. Breast milk, on the other hand, has cells, which play a protective role on the baby's gut, and that can be replaced. Children have an immature microbiota within the first 2 years of life, and their immune system keeps evolving until they are 15. These are additional reasons to start with exclusive breastfeeding. It's well known that allergies tend to run in families. If the child has 2 or more allergic relatives, the probability of being allergic increases by 2 times compared with children who have only 1 allergic relative. Cesarean delivery is another risk factor that has been extensively studied. A systematic review showed this. Let's look at the slide. All studies above the 0 line are considered risk factors. All the ones below the 0 line are protective factors. There is no doubt then about the connection between cesarean delivery and CMPA. Unhealthy microbiome is the reason. The baby's gut is sterile before birth. Even when breast milk is the natural choice for children, its protective role on CMPA has been questioned. That is why Dr. Urashima from Japan has conducted a randomized trial where he shows how avoiding cow milk protein at least the first 15 days of a baby's life has a protective role on CMPA up to 2 years later. This protection extends to anaphylaxis and multiple food allergies. The difference between the group who receives cow milk protein and the one receiving breast milk or elemental hypoallergenic formula, at least the first 15 days has been statistically proven. One additional fact is that CMPA is a pleomorphic and systemic condition. This means symptoms can be subtle, and at the same time, they can affect several organs like the skin, the gut, the respiratory system, and even the nervous system. In small children, many of these symptoms can be easily mistaken with age-related symptoms, and that is dangerous. It's like a black box where you cannot predict the outcome only by the symptoms. This list shows the main symptoms used as a guide for primary care physicians. Some of these symptoms like constipation, gastroesophageal reflux, colic are frequent complaints among patients, and it's so difficult even for an expert to distinguish if they are related to CMPA or not. The current gold standard for diagnosing CMPA is a double-blind oral challenge. This gold standard is very difficult to implement, and even in large medical centers, there is too much confusion about the results. Even at the same medical center, physicians can disagree about whether to consider any reaction as CMPA symptom or not. It depends on the value given to symptoms. And let's be clear about this. It's impossible to have a perfect scale for symptoms. All countries struggle with a double-blind oral challenge. Even if we have resources or not, the level of expertise required to distinguish CMPA with sensitivity is too high. At the same time, the safety level is never 100%. So it's a difficult procedure with a bad cost effectiveness ratio. The problems arising from this imperfect gold standard are the reason behind our proposal. Our CMPA diagnostic score takes into account the most known risk factor or other symptoms taken from the expert knowledge, and is not symptom-based, meaning that this doesn't depend on the physician experience. Our study showed this questionnaire will be a good tool to diagnose CMPA. It's really close to the current gold standard. To summarize, digestive symptoms are not a good guide to diagnose CMPA. Instead, we are proposing a questionnaire based on risk factor and clinical clues. Risk factors according to our study include genetic background for allergies of autoimmune diseases, cesarean delivery, antibiotics, antacids, or infections at a very early age. Lack of exclusive breastfeeding, and excessive cleanliness measures from the caretaker, which don't allow a good immune development of the child. CMPA can be present with a combination of some of these risk factors. Doctors could be wrong, parents too. But whenever in doubt, remember to be humble, because nature knows better than anyone else. Thanks.